The anchoring trap. Your brain loves shortcuts, and the first number, the first impression, becomes the map it refuses to redraw. That's anchoring bias. You walk into a store, see a $1,200 jacket crossed out and replaced with $399, and your brain throws a party. Huge discount. But that first number wasn't truth. It was bait. Once the anchor is set, logic drowns. Even experts fall for it. Real estate agents rate the same house higher when told it's in a premium zone. Juries give harsher sentences after hearing higher damage estimates. Anchoring is hypnosis with digits. The first thing you hear sticks like glue, and every later thought bends to match it. You think you're evaluating, you're adjusting. You think you're reasoning, you're orbiting around a lie someone dropped first. That's how the brain trades freedom for the illusion of knowing where it stands. The confirmation bubble. You're not looking for truth, you're looking for reassurance. Once your mind picks a side, it builds a fortress of agreement around it. That's confirmation bias. You read news that fits your worldview, follow people who echo your thoughts, ignore the ones that challenge you. Your brain filters out pain disguised as contradiction. Every yes you hear adds another brick to your bubble until reality itself feels hostile. That's why arguing online never changes minds. Facts can't pierce emotional armor. The bias whispers, "You're smart because you agree with yourself." Even scientists fall into it, cherry-picking data to defend a theory they love. The scariest part? The smarter you are, the better you are at rationalizing wrong ideas. The bubble thickens with intellect, not ignorance, and inside it you feel safe perfectly, dangerously safe. The availability mirage. Your brain doesn't calculate probability, it plays back memories. The brighter, louder, scarier ones feel more real. That's availability bias. You hear about a shark attack on the news and cancel your beach trip, forgetting that coconuts kill more people each year. You fear flying after seeing a plane crash, but drive texting because your brain equates vividness with frequency. The media knows this game. If it bleeds, it leads. Every shocking story rewires your sense of danger, until you think the world's collapsing when it's statistically safer than ever. The mind works like a lazy librarian. It doesn't check numbers. It grabs whatever's on the top shelf. Your fear isn't logical. It's cinematic. You don't judge reality, you judge its trailer. The status quo spell. Your brain is addicted to comfort, not happiness. Comfort. That's the status quo bias, the irrational worship of how things already are. You tell yourself the job isn't that bad, the relationship isn't that toxic, the habits aren't that destructive because change feels like danger. The mind equates familiarity with safety, even when the current situation hurts. It still feels more predictable than the unknown. That's why people cling to broken systems, outdated beliefs, and terrible routines they'd rather suffer than risk uncertainty. Psychologists once asked participants to pick between two options. One slightly worse, but familiar, and one objectively better, but new. Most chose the familiar. The brain whispered, "Better the devil you know." Its evolutionary laziness survival once depended on predictability, not joy. Today, that same instinct traps us in emotional quicksand. You call it being realistic. It's actually fear wearing a suit of logic. The halo illusion. You meet someone charming, confident, beautifully dressed, and instantly decide they're smart, kind, and trustworthy. Congratulations, you've just fallen for the halo effect. Your brain takes one positive trait and paints the whole person in that color. That's how we turn charisma into competence, looks into morality, fame into wisdom. It's why companies use celebrity ads. Your admiration for the actor spills onto the product. Even teachers have found unconsciously grade better-looking students higher. It's not reason, it's emotional light bleeding across the lens. The reverse is true too. One flaw, one rumor, one awkward moment can poison the entire image. You're not judging people, you're judging the lighting. The halo effect is the Photoshop of perception. It blurs reality until personality becomes branding. And the most dangerous part? We don't only do it to others, we do it to ourselves, mistaking confidence for worth. The light we shine blinds us first. The Dunning-Kruger cliff. The dumbest people are the most confident. The smartest are the most unsure. It's not a paradox, it's the Dunning-Kruger effect. When you know little, you don't know how much you don't know. So your ignorance feels like expertise. You've seen it everywhere. The loud coworker who explains economics from TikTok, the beginner who already gets it, the person who interrupts an expert mid-sentence to correct them. They live on the peak of Mount Stupid high confidence. Zero depth. Meanwhile, people who actually understand complexity see the gaps, the contradictions, the unknowns. Knowledge humbles them. That's why true experts sound cautious, not because they doubt themselves, but because they understand how fragile certainty is. The tragedy? Society rewards confidence, not competence. The loud get the mic, the wise stay skeptical. And every online comment section is proof. The less someone knows, the louder they type from the edge of that cliff. The sunk cost trap. You've invested too much to quit. That's the thought that ruins people. The sunk cost fallacy turns past effort into a prison. You stay in a miserable relationship because of all the years we've spent together. You keep pouring money into a failing business because I can't give up now. You finish a boring movie because you've already watched half. The logic sounds noble loyalty, persistence, but it's rot disguised as virtue. The moment you start chasing lost effort instead of real value, you stop deciding for the future and start worshiping the past. Casinos thrive on this bias. After losing, you double down, trying to win it back, digging your hole with perfect rationalization. The truth is brutal time and money already gone are irrelevant. But the ego hates waste. It wants every pain to mean something. So you keep paying for a story that's already over, just to prove you didn't waste your life living it. The planning fallacy. Every time you say, "This time I'll be on schedule," the universe laughs. The planning fallacy makes you chronically underestimate how long things take, even when you know better. You plan your project, your move, your morning routine with military precision, and then reality punches through your timeline. Psychologists found that even when people recall past delays, they still believe the next time will be different. The brain edits memory, keeping the optimism and deleting the mess. We confuse intention with execution, control with prediction. The bias whispers, "You're smarter now," as if knowledge automatically fixes chaos. It's not stupidity, it's hope weaponized by the prefrontal cortex. That's why people overschedule, overpromise, and overwork. Deep down, we want the future to obey the plan because the plan feels safer than uncertainty. The tragedy is that we mistake the spreadsheet for life itself, and life never reads your timeline. The just world delusion. You want to believe the world is fair, that good people win and bad people pay. That's the just world bias, a comforting lie we all secretly need. It helps you sleep at night, but it also blinds you. When you hear about someone's tragedy, a part of your mind whispers, "They must have done something wrong," because if they didn't, it could happen to you. We invent cosmic justice to avoid existential chaos. Religions, politics, motivational cliches all feed on this illusion of moral symmetry. But reality doesn't care about virtue points. Cruel people succeed, kind people get crushed, randomness rules the game. The bias keeps society emotionally stable, but ethically lazy. It's easier to blame victims than face chaos. He should have worked harder. She made bad choices. The truth is unbearable luck and cruelty are everywhere. Believing in fairness feels righteous, but it's really denial dressed as morality. The bias blind spot. You see bias everywhere in politics, the media, your coworkers, but never in yourself. That's the final twist of the human mind, the bias blind spot. We're wired to detect flaws in others' reasoning while protecting our own. You watch two people argue and think, they're both delusional, not realizing you're judging from your own distorted frame. Experiments show that when told about cognitive biases, people instantly agree, but assume they're less biased than average. The smarter you are, the worse it gets because intelligence arms the ego with better excuses. You rationalize, reframe, and narrate your way out of humility. The mind doesn't want truth, it wants coherence. So it builds a mirror maze where every reflection flatters you just enough to keep you lost. The irony? The only way to see your biases is to doubt the part of you that says, "I don't have any."